36 of their 56 wins in the regular season. As a reminder, that was without Jason Tatum. And so, Vinny, what contender needs Jaylen Brown the most?
You said contender.
I said contender.
Right? Contender. That's the key word, because I don't consider the Houston Rockets a contender. The Denver Nuggets, their championship window is closing. That championship that they had a few years ago, it's starting to collect a little bit of dust. They're getting further and further away. They did not get out of the first round this year in a series they were favored in. I thought this was going to be their year to get to the finals with all the three-point shooting around Nikola Jokic. So I'm choosing the Denver Nuggets to play around Nikola Jokic as a two-way player, a guy who can get his own shot. Some people here like to think that Jaylen Brown has to be the number one option. Maybe that's the case, but that ain't the question. The question is, what contender needs him the most? And out of the contenders, I would say the Denver Nuggets, because you're probably going to send him west. You're probably not going to want to keep him in the Eastern Conference. The teams that I've heard mostly about have been teams in the Western Conference. So out of that criteria, why wouldn't it be the Denver Nuggets? That championship window might be slammed shut. Jokic is approaching the tail end of his prime. They might be able to pry that open with a crowbar.
Stephen A.
I'm surprised Vinny went this route, even though I don't disagree with you, bro. But let me throw this at you. How about Jaylen Brown as a Detroit Piston? Could you imagine that? I mean, in Detroit, as the late, great Stuart Scott, God rest his wonderful soul, called Detroit. That fan base, those Rough Riders, Cade Cunningham balling the way that he does, and being a natural point guard at that while doing so with him and Jaylen Brown, Lord have mercy. That would be something special. I ain't gonna lie about that. Couldn't ignore that in the East, because even though Jason Tatum is a monster in his own right, as they have both proven when they've been in Boston together, Cade Cunningham is a little bit different than Jason Tatum, more of a point guard than Jason Tatum is, and still has the ability to be a bit more deferential, as opposed to it's your turn, it's my turn, it's your turn, it's my turn kind of thing going on in Detroit. It would be interesting to see that. There are other teams that I'm sure Big Perk will have, you will have, I even have. But I will tell you, when this question was first asked to me, the first team that came to my mind was the Detroit Pistons.
And to be honest, I'm not mad at either one of you for those choices. The thing is, Brad Stevens was born on a day, but it wasn't yesterday. He'll be crazy as hell to trade Jaylen Brown to a team in the Eastern Conference and have to look at that. That's number one. So, but I'm not mad at the idea, SA. And Vinny, that was actually the smartest thing that you've said all morning. But I'm gonna go to another team in the Western Conference. I'm gonna go to another player that we haven't talked about enough over this offseason. The great Steph Curry. He's over there in Golden State, and Steph Curry is still hanging on because he wants to win another championship. And right now, when you think about their roster, they have a bunch of senior citizens. I know Draymond Green, he still has the capability of being, one of the better defensive players in the game. Jimmy Butler is coming off an ACL injury. We don't know what he's going to look like. I believe he's about 36 years of age. They need youth. They need a spark. And when we talk about the Western Conference, when we talk about Oklahoma City, we're talking about the San Antonio Spurs, Minnesota, you need a dude over there. You need a guy that you could throw the ball to that's going to take pressure off of Steph Curry. Jimmy Butler, I don't know if he's still that dude at this stage of his career. So if I'm Golden State, if I'm Mike Dunleavy, if I'm Joe Lacob, I'm definitely picking up the phone and calling Brad Stevens and the Boston Celtics and saying what the hell I need to do to get Jaylen Brown over here. Because also, you get Jaylen Brown for now and the near future after Steph Curry.
That's not
I don't like that suggestion at all. No, it is bad. I don't like that suggestion at all. And the reason I don't like that suggestion at all is because you're thinking about what Jaylen Brown does statistically and what he brings to the table instead of how he does it. Me personally, I'm thinking about Steph Curry. And I'm thinking that the best person that's a sidekick with him is somebody that's a catch and shooter as opposed to somebody that's going to put the ball on the floor as much as Jaylen Brown does. I'm not saying that, you know what, he can't do that. I'm saying that's what I prefer. I'm just talking about a match. That's all. Jaylen Brown can play, and some could argue that you kind of need that as opposed to a catch and shooter, because with Steph Curry doing what he does, you need somebody that's going to take it to the rack. But remember, Big Perk, what did we complain about watching Jaylen Brown in Boston in that last game against the Philadelphia 76ers? I mean, damn, last 6 minutes, all they did was launch three. Nobody went to the hole. What the hell happened? You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. I'm telling you, me personally, I don't think that's ideal spot. I look at Detroit. I look at somebody like a Denver. I look at somebody like a Houston. I look at teams like that before. I'd look at the Lakers. You understand? You know, Austin Reaves is 28. Hell, Jaylen Brown's 29. You understand what I'm saying? If I'm the Lakers and I can get my hands on Jaylen Brown, it being a two-way player, because especially with Luka not wanting to play no damn defense or incapable of doing so, and Austin's clearly incapable of doing so, you need a dog in that backcourt that can be a lockdown defender to pair with Luka. Give me the Lakers before you give me the Golden State Warriors, if you're talking about what's an ideal spot for a guy like Jaylen Brown.
You're going too far. Now he said the Lakers. Stephen A. just went too far on that one. Golden State is not.
We're not talking about the plausibility of it numbers-wise. We're just talking about, talking purely basketball and your skill set. You trying to tell me I'm wrong about that Jaylen Brown with Luka? Are you kidding me?
Yes, because I think the Lakers need something far more than another guy to get his own shot. They got plenty of that. They need a big. When I look at Denver.
No, I talked to the defense.
Denver.
I said Jaylen Brown at defense, Vinny.
Yeah, but there's other things that come with Jaylen Brown, like needing the ball. He needs the rock. You know, Luka Doncic is going to have the ball in his hands. Austin Reaves is going to have the ball in his hands. How much usage is there going to be available? When you're at Denver, you need someone that can take it out of Jokic's hands, who can also play off Jokic. Detroit is a far better discussion than the Lakers, Stephen A.
Okay, we're going to talk more about this in a little bit.
Okay.
We're going to talk more about this.
I forgot to give up one thing, but go ahead. All right.
To the NBA, where we are waiting for the next domino to fall. It could be Jaylen Brown. Shams Charania, Vince Goodwill with me here in New York. Shams, the latest on a Jaylen Brown trade. What are you hearing?
Courtney, each day this week, the Boston Celtics have been actively engaged in trade conversations around Jaylen Brown with multiple interested teams. We know they went after Giannis. They offered Jaylen Brown and 2 unprotected first-round picks. They missed out on Giannis. He ends up in Miami. And so now they're left to really pick up the pieces, deal with the fallout. There's been some hard conversations. So where does this go from here? We know they tried to get Giannis, but what's the ask now? My understanding is in some cases the Celtics have asked teams for at least 4 first-round picks for Jaylen Brown. He's got 3 years left on his contract at a supermax clip. So where does that put him as far as his value? And if this is a Boston team that's been contending in the Eastern Conference, and their potential ask for some teams is a package of picks and players. How have they reimagined this roster moving forward, their finances, their viability as a contender in the Eastern Conference? But I do think as of right now, time will tell which side will bring the urgency to this matter this offseason.
For a player that we know has such a high ceiling in Jaylen Brown and coming off the best season of his career, Vince. I mean, I hear Shams say 4 first-round picks. That's a lot. I also know what the Giannis package was. So what do you think teams will actually be looking for? Is it seriously going to take that much, or could there be an offer where maybe there's another player packaged in there and it might lessen the cost for Boston?
You can ask for whatever you want, Courtney. It doesn't mean that you're going to get it, especially if you're the Boston Celtics at this point. When you look at Jaylen Brown's contract, remember he's eligible for 2 years, $140 million on an extension on top of the contract he has already. You have to factor that in. The financial realities of where the NBA is, you cannot ignore what you're going to have to pay a player like Jaylen Brown and where your team is to absorb a player like that. If he's going to be your best player, then you have to understand, like, okay, are we going to be contending? Or if he's your second best player, you know where you're going to be, because you know if he's your second best player, you can get to the NBA Finals. The question is, where does Boston sit on this? If you're asking for 4 first-round draft picks and you're looking at that roster and you're looking at some of the holes in the roster, the deficiencies, and how Jaylen Brown was able to sort of curt all of that and carry them to 60 wins, What are your long-term plans? Are you planning to take a step back to then take a step forward? Are you planning on having another gap year this year if you're trading Jaylen Brown? I think that's the biggest question here. Where do the Celtics see themselves long-term in this vision?
It's funny you say gap year in the Boston Celtics. I remember famously hearing that last year, and this was a team that won all those games without Jason